as Rapunzel. And my sister is 5, and this was something that came as a big shock to me, that such a little girl would ask me a question like that, and like a lot of her other questions, I didn't know how to answer it. We're not skinny white women, lots of people. And you wouldn't know that if you just kept watching the TV. You would think that everyone fits into this mold. Even when we have this super positive image here, this doesn't represent everyone, and this is a part of a huge trend of that same thing. Another thing that I noticed as I was doing my research is my sister's favorite movie is Frozen. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen that before. And I've seen it more times than I can count. And one time we were watching it and she asked me again, she said, "Sissy, why doesn't anyone look like me?" And I was like, I have no idea. And I kept watching and I was like, okay, there's got to be at least one person in this movie who is not white. And so I kept watching and I watched it again. I was like, no, there's not. And I said, okay, well, let me look around. Let me look for more movies besides The Princess and the Frog, because she's a frog the whole movie. And I said, okay, let me look for a movie where there's someone who looks like my sister. And I could not find any unless I went super far. And I found that out of the top 25 most popular feature films in 2013, just one had a protagonist of a girl of color. And that's of all colors, Asian, Hispanic, biracial, just one was not white as a protagonist. And this is a big, big problem, because when you see people who look like you doing really cool things, then that helps you think that you can also do that. We are keeping all of these people out of the entertainment industry. We're sending a message to our kids. My sister is 5, she's going to elementary school and she's starting to learn how to read. And I'm trying to find books for her that have people that look like her, because she's been asking me all these questions. So I've been on this mission to try to find something for her. And I found that that's another thing that's really, really hard unless you want to read like a slavery book to your 5-year-old sister. So I'm trying to find like a really positive message, and I was having a really hard time. And I found that in 2012, 3% of all books had African Americans in it. Just any African American. An African American like side character, like in the background. Like 3% just had one there. Less than 1% were about Native Americans. 1.5% were about Latinos. 2% were about Asian Pacific. They don't even include biracial on here. And 93% were Caucasian. And not just 93% of you all here aren't Caucasian. And that's a big problem, again, because not everyone is being represented in the things that we see the most. And one of the biggest impacts on leaving out people of color is that people start internalizing hatred for themselves because they aren't this picture that we see on the advertisements or this commercial that we see all the time. In the 60s, they did this doll test where they got a bunch of black kids together and they put a black doll and a white doll in front of them. And they were completely identical, except for the fact that one of them was black and one of them was white. And they were to pick out which one they thought was pretty, which one is smart, which one is nice, etc. And they found some really terrible things.
Back at some landmark experiments, including one from decades ago in which small children were given 2 dolls, the only difference the color of their skin, and asked questions to see if they had absorbed unconsciously absorbed the prejudice around them.
Which is the pretty doll?
This one.
Why is it the pretty doll?
Because it looks sort of like creamish colors.
Just by looking at them, I think most of them look pretty.
Our grade school children answering questions about 2 dolls, identical dolls.
Watching sending good messages about our African Americans and our Hispanics and our Asians. Are we watching things that are telling us good things about ourselves? And the problem is, even though we're including minorities, if we're starting to have TV shows that have characters of different races and different things like that, but we're still relying on negative stereotypes. So we're not really evening out the field. So I have a clip from Jessie, which plays on Disney Channel, and there's the family is multiracial, and they have this one kid who's from India, because they're all adopted, And this is the episode where he's like first getting to go to school. Could you play that, please? Thank you.
Take a peek at a Disney Channel mini bite from Jessie right now.
It is 0700 hours. Out of your guts and hit the mess hall for eggs Florentine and chocolate croissants.
Okay, this rich people food really kills my whole military vibe.
Here's a fun fact. When your blow drying doll hair, high is too high.
That's okay, sweetie. Noses are overrated anyway. Just ask Voldemort.
Don't say his name.
Good morning, Jesse. Let's get this weekend started.
It's Monday.
Ugh. Wait to be appointed Saturday. Hello, good family. Who's ready to get their learn on?
Oh my. What you wearing?
It is my Shirwani, only worn on very special occasions. Since my tutor says I am now ready to start school with Emma and Luke, what better day to wear it? Maybe on a day when your nightclub act opens in Vegas. Luke, that happens to be a very beautiful traditional Indian shabupi. Shirwani.
Sure.
Okay. This is my sister, this is Naya. Thank you guys. All right, we're going to give out a few things first. We're going to start with some